Hello everybody, hopefully you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're having, not hopefully. And this is lesson number 20 in our dive into the wonderful world of music theory. Now, today we're going to continue talking about clapping out notes. And this is installment number 3 if I'm not wrong, there'll probably also be a 4, part 3 this is. And in the 2 lessons ago we introduced how to clap notes with the 4/4 time signature, with the quarter note, the half note and the whole note. Last lesson we talked about how to count with the eighth note, right? Just because that it's a different system of counting altogether when you have to count with eighth notes usually. And today we're going to be addressing how to count with the 16th note, our friend right here. So let's actually try. Let's do it. I'm so sorry, seem to have a bad throat, but hopefully I'm still audible and I can still teach. Alright, so as we discussed, right, in a 4/4 time signature, there are 4 counts in a bar and each count is worth a quarter note. That means that, because this is 4 and 4 means quarter, right? That means the quarter note is equal to 1 count, means you sustain it for 1 count, you keep it when you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I've recapped this the past few lessons already. I'll just keep this written down here for reference. And what we also covered now last lesson was that each note is actually in a 4/4 time signature consists enough only in a 4/4 time signature, and there's half a count. So sorry, my throat seems to be acting up, but it is indeed half a count. And the 16th note, which is of relevance today, is 1/4 of a count, because it's 1/4 the value of a quarter note and it's half the value of an eighth note, so half of half is 1/4, 1/4 of 1 is 1/4. So yeah. Now, as we discussed, we usually count 4/4 in terms of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when we needed to count, we can play half counts with this system quite easily actually. But like when you're proficient. But especially when you're starting in general, it's quite hard to do that, and it can be hard to conceptualize counting half a count when you're only counting the whole counts. So what we did for that is we took one count and we divided it into two. So we're now counting not only the whole counts but each half count, and we came up with the system 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right, where each one of these was half count. So you have 1 and is 1 count, 2 and is 1 count, 3 and is 1 count, 4 and is 1 count. We're just dividing this 1 up here into 1 and so that it's easier to count half a count, right? And once again, with this system, with either system, you can also count 16th notes. Like, I can count 16th note with the top system. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting 16th notes, right? And I can count it with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and I'm playing 16th verse right now. But that's difficult to conceptualize and get starting at one point. The way you do it is you think of 2/16 notes being in one piece. But regardless, just as we came up, we divided one count into two for making it easier to count with eighth notes. We've come up with a new system where we divide one count into four to make it easier to count 16th notes. However, this is quite convoluted system. So instead of 1, we've broken 1 up into 1, E, and You pronounce it like 1 E and So E and I've written E and A. Hopefully you understand. 1 E and 2 E. Sorry about that. And 3 E and sorry about that again. And I'm gonna write 4 at the bottom here. 4 E and I swear I am not making this up. I'm not pulling a leg. This is the actual system, and you know what? It rolls off the tongue relatively well. The more you say it, the more you appreciate the fact that it's not too hard to say 1E and a 2E and a 3E and I can say it really fast as well, right? So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and what I'm doing by this is I'm dividing it very objectively. There's one count. I'm taking a one count and splitting into 4. So each one of these, including the 1, the E, the and the is all 1/4 the count, which means it's all 1/16th note in a 4/4 time signature. So this is the formal way. This is the formal way in which we count 16th notes. At the end of this video, I'll show you my personal informal way of counting 16th notes, right? And we'll get to that later. But for the duration of this video, I'll be using this method because this is the formal way. So once again, it's 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and each one of these is a 16th note. So by that logic, I'll just clear this up. 2 of these would make an 8th note, 4 of these would make a quarter note in 4/4 time signature, and 8 of these would make a half note, um, and all of these would make a whole note. And you might say that's very convoluted to remember, but because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, it makes it relatively easy to count. The whole note, the whole note, the half note, and the quarter note, because you just have to look at the 1, 2, and 3, and 4, right? But this does make it significantly easier. So let's try all 16th notes, which is going to take up quite a bit of space, but there shouldn't be a problem really. And just I'll just remove this right here. Sorry about that. Anyway, yes, I'm making a part of only 16th notes, and as you might imagine, 16 16th notes come in a 4/4 time signature. So having a bar of only 16th notes is going to be quite long. But as you can see, so this is one bar in a 4/4 time signature. Let me stress that because this is how small 16th notes are, right? This is how small their value is. This value is not 1/4, by the way. Its value is 1/16th. So just how many counts they are. Oh, I should make that distinction actually. This is how many counts they are in a 4/4 time signature, not their note value. Don't get confused, please. Just how many counts they are in a 4/4 time signature. Okay, in a 4/4 time signature. Okay, so let me count this out. And once again, I'm going to use my new system right here: 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So I'll start with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and without me counting, it just seems like me playing notes over and over again, which is essentially what I am doing because it's the same duration. But anyways, I just wanted to demonstrate that's how you link it there. And we generally do not use the system unless 16th notes are involved, and unless they are involved excessively, because you usually can relatively easily conceptualize adding a 16th note if it only appears a couple of times. But if it's appearing a lot, you usually use the system, or you use the informal system, which I'll get to later. So now let's try to include some. Sorry about that. Yeah, now let's try to include some more rhythms. So I'll go down and actually write a bar or two, and then we get into proper 4-bar rhythms. So 4 4. Let's write some rhythm. Okay. All right. So all right. I don't want to introduce this right now, but the proper way of writing it is if I have an eighth note. In fact, if I have an eighth note and I have two 16th notes beside it, I connect the top line to them like this, right? I connect the top line and the 16th notes. Once again, we'll learn how these mechanics work later on, right? I've not even talked about how to group these eighth notes under lines. Just remember, whatever note has one line moving out of it, it's an eighth note. Whatever has two lines moving out of it and or coming to it, it's a 16th note. Just try to keep that in your mind, okay? So by this logic, this is an eighth note and this is a 16th note. I could write it, these both are 16th notes, like both of these are 16th notes. I could write it separated, but that's not the correct way to write it music theory wise. So I don't want to teach you the wrong things. This is how you would write it. I'll teach you how to write it like this later on, but just remember, these two are 16th notes because they've got two lines, this one's an 8th note because they've got one line. I'm actually not sure exactly how this will sound. We'll find out. So let's try playing this and with 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and that counting system. So quite a bit slower. So in fact, if you want positive, you can try this by yourself because I did that for you. So perhaps you feel equipped to do this. Pause the video and try it for yourself if you feel like it. If not, it's okay. It's completely fine. I'll play it here. 1 and 2 and oops, I have to count in the. I just count 1, 2, 3, 4 in the pickup bar and yeah, we'll start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1E and sorry about that. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and I'll speed that up quite a little bit. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and and now I'll do without counting. Once again, that's quite a weird rhythm actually. So once again, for those of you who didn't hear it, I shouldn't play that fast, then you won't be able to hear the 16th notes. Um, okay, let's write another one. And this time I do encourage you to pause the video to try to check this out, sort it out, edit this bit out. To my future self who's editing this video, presumably, sorry for giving you more work, but my laptop is about to die, so, and I'm going to pick up from when I'm writing, hopefully. So another rhythm, no eighth notes this time. So let's try. I encourage you to pause the video, try this by yourself, and I will use the counting system to do for you. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Sorry, I'm supposed to use this counting system. So sorry. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and I should actually do things. So now I do encourage you to go pause the video right about now and try it for yourself. But right now I will be playing it while using this system. So 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E. Now I will be playing it for you using this counting system. So let's try. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and so without counting. Let's try one more. Similar. And you can confirm this does indeed work with a 4/4 time signature, because this is what one quarter note, one quarter note, one quarter note, one quarter note, 4 in total. So sorry. So I encourage you to pause the video, try it. I'm assuming you've done that. Now I'm going to count it out using this system. So 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and so once again 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and I'll do without counting. Once again. Alright. Okay, now let's try some 4-bar rhythms, some more heavy duty things, and let's see where we go with it. Sorry if I'm not making this as clear as that could be. I'm taking quite a bit of space. Oh, it's not that legible, I'm so sorry. I should have written it slightly bigger. But I'll just clarify: 16th note, 8th note, quarter note, 16th note, 8th note, quarter note, all 8th notes, quarter note, 16th note, 8th note, quarter. I mean, make that a bit more clear. Quarter note, 16th notes, 8th note, quarter note, whole note. And you can just confirm that this all do work under the 4/4 time signature. So now I'm going to play them for you. I encourage you to pause the video and do it first, and hopefully you've tried, succeeded or failed, and now I'm going to do it for you, and I'm gonna count with 1e and a 2e and a 3e and a 4e and we'll see exactly where you got them. So 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4 and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and I think it's just slipped up my counting a bit, tongue twister in the middle. Let's do that once more with counting. 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 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 side note, it's completely fine if you're not doing it as fast as I'm doing it. I don't want to waste your time too much, and I don't want to make the whole note seem too long, so I'm doing it faster. It's completely fine to do it slower, 100%. Don't worry about it. Okay, now I'll play the same thing once without counting. Okay, now let's do one more. This will probably be the last one I do for today. Let's keep this one a 2-bar rhythm. I think it's better suited that way, the way it's sounding. So I encourage you to pause the video, try it yourself. I'm assuming you've done that, and now I'm going to do it. So 1E, if you need some clarification, 8th note, 16th note, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, 16th note, quarter note, 8th note, 16th note, 16th note, 8th note, 16th note, quarter note. In case my handwriting is illegible, which it's likely to be. So anyways, let's try. 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and sorry, once again, tongue twister got me. I flubbed it up in the middle. I was playing it right, I just stopped counting properly. So let me do it once again. 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and sorry 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and 1e and 2e and 3e and 4e and I'll do it once without counting. I'll play slightly slower as well. That's about what it's supposed to sound like. Alright, so as I said, that's really all I wanted to cover with 16th notes today. Hopefully you found this interesting, hopefully you found it valuable, hopefully you gained some knowledge from this. And yeah, I've covered how to count with a 4/4 time signature. Basically all the notes that are necessary for this basic level. Even for the advanced level, you really, in fact, in music, you really find notes which go like there's a couple of notes which are more valued than a whole note, and a couple of notes which are less valued than a 16th note. But in most of music, you'll actually only find these 5 notes. Well, that's coming with major asterisks, but yeah. Anyways, next lesson we're going to be talking about some different time signatures and seeing how we count with them. And you know what's interesting? Anything which has any time signature which has a 4 at the bottom number, this can be any number, has a 4 at the bottom number, this still counts, this still works. This system of still works because this is what tells me, this bottom number 4 is what tells me that this is true. And because this only with one condition is true, everything else becomes there. And yeah, so that's just a fun fact, and I'll be leveraging that next lesson. That being said, now that I'm going to introduce my method of counting. Now, be warned, if you don't feel you have an extremely sound grasp of the concept so far, I don't encourage you to use this and or listen to it, because this is it can be, my method of counting is a little bit confusing if you're not fully understood what counts mean. So it can confuse you where the count is coming, right? So if you feel you're very easily confused and you don't have a full handle on the concepts till now, this is perfect. Thank you so much for joining me today. Next time we'll be talking about other time signatures. Hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. That being said, if you feel that you're okay and you can take a little bit of confusion, here's the method that I use to count 16th notes when they arrive, and I find it to be significantly easier, and I'm pretty sure most musicians also use this method. So as you might imagine, saying 1 E and is quite strenuous and doesn't make, and in your mind it's even more weird to say. So instead of doing that, I just divide one count into just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make one some more distance so it makes, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's confusing about this is that these are not counts. This is one beat, this is one beat, this is one beat, this is one beat. And once again, with 16th notes we have to divide this into 4, right? With 16th notes we have to divide into 4. Now instead of saying 1E and the reason they probably did that was because they wanted to make it very clear that, you know, we're not talking about a new count here, right? And feel free to use that method. I use this method because it's just easier, and you'll find that saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 much easier. It's confusing in terms of counts for people who are starting off, but most musicians, I'm pretty sure, use this method, and I use this method. So let's try counting our friend up here just with this method to show you. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And if I count like that in my head, which is what I was doing this entire time. I mean, like 16th notes are slightly precarious, so even I don't risk it and don't count it all. I count in my head and I count this way. So when I'm counting in my head, I'm counting like this, and it sounds like this. And all the time I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in my head, and it's really helpful. It works, like it sticks slightly better. It's much easier to count than, you know, 1 E and right? Though if you're easily confused, you prefer that method, no problem. That's the official method for a reason. Anyway, I just thought I would share my informal way of counting, and if you feel your logic is sound, you've understood what this actually means. This is each one count, and you find this to be more useful, all the better for you. I'm happy I was able to teach you something. Anyways, for those of you who stayed on, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll be talking about the time signatures when we move on to our next lesson. Hope you learned something valuable and have a wonderful the rest of the day. See you in the next lesson. Bye.